Hello traders, Rich here and welcome to a new episode on how to analyze any chart from scratch without using any indicators, just by applying basic price action concepts and market structure 101. So let's get started, and as usual, cheers. Today we have episode number 22, which is a crypto instrument, RVN, or also known as Raven coin. So for those who already know, we'll start from the higher time frames, weekly and daily. If you aren't familiar with the series, don't worry. I'll make sure to attach the entire playlist, which includes all the videos by order, in the description below. So enjoy it. And for those who are watching this video, let's do it. As mentioned previously, for those who already know, we start from the higher time frames, which we call our rejection time frames, weekly and daily, to know where we stand in the market. Are we overall bullish, bearish, or stuck inside the range? And of course, as price approaches the lower bound, it can be a horizontal support just like this one, or non-horizontal support just like these two. We'll be looking for buy setups. In parallel, as price approaches the upper bound, it can also be horizontal and non-horizontal. We'll be looking for sell setups. And we've got three types of rejections. The first one is a horizontal support and resistance, where we have many failed attempts to break above or below a certain area or level. The second one is a supply and demand zone. For example, here we have a demand zone where we have an aggressive movement upward from it. As price approaches it again, we'll be looking for buy setups. Here we have another one. And as price approaches this demand, we'll be looking for buy setups. Vice versa, if we have a supply zone, we would have an aggressive movement down from it. As price approaches the supply, we'll be looking for sell setups. That's our second rejection zone. So support and resistance, explosive movement upward or downward. We've got a demand, we've got a supply, right? The third one is a non-horizontal support, which is or as known as a trend line. So for example, here, we've got this non-horizontal support. We've got many rejections from it. And as price approaches it again, we'll be looking for buy setups. And anyway, since we drew this one, let's keep it here. And we'll start this analysis like all the way around. We usually start by drawing our horizontal ones. But since we drew this one, and we also have a non-horizontal resistance here, right? So forming like a giant symmetric triangle, and this is weekly time frame. This is the power of starting from the higher time frames, because now we know that we're around a support area, but since it's a symmetric triangle, the more the price trades or goes horizontal or flat in time, the smaller or narrower the range would become, which is very good, because we expect that sooner or later now would have a breakout, right? Usually a symmetric triangle would have a breakout either upward or downward. But for now, we're expecting or we're looking to buy RVN or to add it to our portfolio. So we are waiting for the break up. Of course, if it breaks downward, we wouldn't be buying. Instead, we'll be waiting for price to approach this demand zone, or also it's around number 0.05, which is around this area, which is also lining up with this demand zone, right? So we've got a rejection here. We'll be looking for buy setups. Unless price dives in, we'll be looking for buy around this demand. And if price kept moving lower, this is an even stronger demand zone, right? And anyway, since we already drew our supply and demand zones, let's keep it this way. Let's make it in green, because I like to keep the gray ones for my trigger swings. And this is it, right? Got a demand here, got a demand here, and we are currently sitting around a non-horizontal support. That's why we are looking for buy setups, right? So now we know where we stand in the market, and I guess if we zoom into lower time frames like daily, we wouldn't be able to add much, because when you gather many info from weekly, like chances are you wouldn't be able to find like more data from daily time frame. And like these, when we see these are just wicks from weekly time frame. And anyway, we don't really need these ones, because let's delete them, because you can even draw this one like this, right? But anyway, since like it has more confluence, if we draw it this way, let's keep it this way. But we've got the idea. Even if you don't have these ones, you can draw this trend line by connecting these two swings. right? So this is it. And as you notice, like this instrument is like quite fast because it's very straightforward. We know that we are overall bullish trading inside this symmetric triangle. However, we are not very bullish because when we are in a clean bullish trend, we expect a higher high and a higher low, right? So here the price is making higher highs, but at the same time, it's making lower highs, forming, as mentioned previously, the symmetric triangle. That's why we are expecting a break either side, because the sellers are pushing lower and the buyers are pushing higher. So this is like a battle, right? And instead it's like a big war, right? Because we've got a battle, and so on. So for now, like in this particular area, like the bulls were clearly in full control. They were winning this particular battle, and vice versa, bulls, bears. But the war, let's see who would win this entire war inside this big symmetrical triangle. So from now, from weekly time frame, the last swing high is sitting around this area. So for the bulls to take over from a long-term perspective, let's make it in gray because it would be our trigger swing. We'll need to wait for a break above this area, right? Unless, of course, which would be even better, unless we've got a new swing formed around, let me draw it. You know what? Let me make these ones like this. Here we go, right? And let's make an arrow here as that. Fantastic. Okay, so unless price forms a new swing high, then it would update our trigger swing. But for now, as per the current price action, current market conditions, this is our trigger swing. So we are waiting for this scenario or for this scenario, as you can see, the lower one. And you can see it even better from weekly time frame. That's it, right? So even if you don't have these ones, as mentioned previously, we've got a trend line 1 and 2. We're waiting for this one, which is from weekly time frame, and if price forms a new swing around this trend line, which would be even better, it would update our trigger swing and it would be around here. So the idea is, no matter if you have a trend line or any bullish reversal pattern, we'll always wait not for the trend line to be broken up, because the trend line is just like any support resistance. It's an entire zone and not a laser level. So for example, you should treat it just like this, right? So it's an entire level, but I don't draw it this way because as you notice, like the price would be choppy. Sorry, the chart would be choppy. So it is cleaner this way to draw it as a horizontal level. So sorry about the noise. Let's take a sip. Okay, so fantastic. So now if we zoom into H4, we don't really need to zoom into H4 because we already got everything we need from higher time frames, right? So it's our rejection time frame, at the same time our trigger time frame. And the reason why I always stick to the higher time frames when it comes to crypto is because I'm planning to buy it on spot and hold it for long term. So I don't trade it on margin. I keep margin trading for Forex, and like, because I already have many instruments when it comes to Forex. So why do I need to like diversify my portfolio when it comes to margin trading? So I keep margin trading and leverage and stuff like that for Forex. When it comes to crypto, the way I approach it is I just buy it and hold it. That's why I always stick to the higher time frames, because I'm not planning to close it anytime soon. But if you zoom into H4, so I just like zoom in to the max to H4 time frame. I don't zoom into lower time frames, but in Forex, I zoom into H1 or even M30 sometimes. Okay, so, but anyway, if we were to do market structure analysis on H4 time frame, we know that we were overall bullish and price broke below the previous low. So now the momentum is shifted from bullish to bearish, and starting from here, we are bearish and the price started to make low lows and lower highs, right? So lower high, lower high, lower high, and so on. And then we got inside this flat correction movement. So lower high, lower low, we were very bearish. But then we've got this big impulse movement around this, like around this demand zone. And then we've got into a new leg, which is like, this is a leg, this is a leg, and we can see that from a short-term perspective that the buyers are taking over bit by bit, because we can see that the impulse movements were very strong and we've got big candles, especially this one, while here you can see like steep, while this one is flat, which gives us an early alert that the buyers might be kicking in anytime soon. Of course, for extra confirmation, we still need to wait for a break above the previous high. So we've got this channel. Let's make it this way. Let's make it in red because we've got blue up there. And I don't want to see these ones on H4. That's how you keep your chart as clean as possible. And like, don't worry, you will get faster in time. Sorry if sometimes I'm a bit fast, so you can't really see what I'm doing. So we're overall bearish. And as mentioned before, this one got flat and then the price broke above the previous high. So from a short-term perspective, RVN rejected the demand area, rejected the lower trend line in blue, which is from a daily time frame, right? Acting as a non-horizontal support. That's where we'll start to look for buy setups, and then the buyers kicked in after breaking above this last high, which is the last high of this channel. So now from a medium-term perspective, from H4, we are overall bullish. However, to expect a bullish movement from a long-term perspective, we still need to wait for the major high to be broken from weekly, or for this new swing to form and then buy on break upward. Okay, so we are bullish around the support, expecting a movement upward from a medium-term perspective, and this can act as a potential non-horizontal resistance. So if we've got a rejection from it, then we can buy on break upward. If not, then this would be our main high. So that's it for Raven. That's as simple as that. If you want me to like analyze a specific crypto instrument next, feel free to mention it in the comment section below. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.